Oh boy, I don't know if I can make it that long, but it'd be a good problem to have.
Real quick, though, I will say this: you are a youngish man at 40. You're a first-time head coach. Your team has gone from like a big question mark for a lot of people preseason about where y'all fit with a new head coach and a new quarterback, new offensive line, to now y'all are number 3 in one poll, number 4 in the other, getting first place votes. How do you temper being excited about your job, but with the fact that you know the season's half over? I mean, how do you deal with that? Because I would think you're pretty fired up right now.
Well, it's great to be 6-0, and I think that when we looked at our season, we saw this first 6 games as a chunk. We had a bye week, and then we have 2 games. We have a bye week, and then we finish with the last 4. And it's something we talked to the team about, and the first goal was to get 6-0, and here we are. So now we're entering into this next kind of phase here, and it's good to build confidence. It's good to know that everything that we're working on is paying off, because there's been a lot of hard work that's been put in here. There's been a lot of hours that have been put in here, physically, emotionally, mentally, meetings, lifts, workouts. I mean, there's so many of those things that have happened, and so to see that pay off is great. But we all know that doesn't mean anything if you don't win the next one. And so keeping that chip on our shoulder and making sure that we haven't proven anything yet, just that we have the capability to do well, but you know, we're just halfway through the season. We've got a long way to go, and so making sure that we have something to prove every single day we step on the practice field and on the game field is important.
You know, really quickie, with an offensive line, when you put it together, you never know exactly how tough it's going to be, you know, at crunch time and stuff. Did you learn something about that group on Saturday night again that tells you it's not just, you know, a bunch of great athletes out there, but they can stand up to a Big Ten football game?
I think we learned a couple things about the O-line. One was that, you know, when it was tough sledding early on, they didn't panic. They just kept swimming away. And I think the second thing, like you said, is that was a real defensive line that has got some really good players in there, and I thought they were physical. They were finishing guys downfield again, and they took a lot of pride in that. And to run for over 300 yards against that outfit is saying something. So I think that goes to show you where our line is and what it's capable of. So all that means is just more expectations moving forward.
Third row right, Rob.
Conventional wisdom coming into the season was that Justin Fields wouldn't be the passer that Dwayne was, just because of Dwayne's numbers, what he's done. Right. Are you surprised at all at the success he's had, and how would you compare those guys at the halfway point last year to this year, their growth? Is it similar? Is Justin ahead?
I just very different. Just two different situations, I think. You know, but both were unknown. You know, both had 0 collegiate starts coming into the season, which is amazing when you think back on it. But you know, it was a situation where Dwayne was in the offense and just had to prove that he had the game experience and those type of things. Justin was much more of an unknown because he had just got here in January, and so he's growing every day. He knows what he needs to work on, but his leadership and his toughness is shown. And I think the guys in that locker room are appreciative of that. I think they see it. He's got a lot of areas to grow, a lot of things to work on. But if he continues to lead, if he continues to be tough, if he continues to be a leader in that locker room, then a lot of good things are going to happen.
How do you compare the two as passers? Just strictly from what you being a former QB coach, how do they?
Yeah, one is, kind of a more of a pocket guy who's a little bit longer, leaner, 6'5", maybe a little bit quicker release. The other guy is 6'3", thicker, stronger in the pocket. Guys can kind of bounce off of him in there. He's a little bit stronger in there. He'll stand in there a little bit more. He can create and extend plays, and he's got a very strong arm, and that thing comes out with pace when it comes out. So I think Justin can make a throw anywhere on the field at any point, whether it's in the pocket or when he goes to escape. There's not really an area of the field that he can't get the ball to, and a lot of times it's not even with his feet underneath him. He can get away with some of that stuff, and so all the things that we're cleaning up in terms of technique and getting the ball out on time, but he's very talented.
And one more at the risk of pushing this.
Yep.
The Redskins contacted you?
No, like I said, no, but I'm not going to talk about that stuff. I really don't want to have any conversation about it.
Over here to the right, Clay.
Okay, let's forget Haskins plays for the Redskins. He's going through a very uncertain time in his career. about the direction of that team that he's on. Has he reached out to you? Have you tried to counsel him? If you would, what would you say to a guy where he is in his development?
No, Dwayne and I, speak regularly, but I hadn't really talked to him. I think since he played in the preseason game, I think it was in Cleveland. He played a preseason game in Cleveland. Yeah, talked to him before that, and wished him nothing but the best of luck. But kind of busy here and running around. But no, I mean it's the same thing. He's gonna be fine. He's just got to keep working at it, keep staying strong, and he'll be fine.
Front row left, Doug.
Ryan, I was joking with Luke Farrell earlier this year about when he's going to come in your office and demand that he get the ball, and he said, of course I would never do that, but he catches a touchdown pass the other night, and he was saying he almost got emotional about it because he was so excited for the opportunity to contribute to his team and help that kind of thing. Obviously, Luke is doing his job blocking most of the time. Just what's that guy done to help this offense this year?
Well, he's done a lot, not just this year, but last year too. And we've played with several tight ends on the field. It's one of our more experienced groups coming into the season. When you're a tight end, you have to be able to do a lot of things. You have to be able to protect. You have to be able to run routes. You have to be able to run block. You have to do all those things. And to do that takes a special guy. And I think Luke does all of those things very well. He's not a guy that takes a lot of maintenance. You tell him something once, he gets it. And that's not easy as a tight end because you have to be involved in so many things. You have to be a high processor. He does that. And like you said, he doesn't bring a lot of attention to himself. He's not getting the ball or anything like that. Never heard any of that from Luke. And so proud that he made that big play. And we needed that play in that game. And not only the catch and being where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there, but then also to break a tackle, with one of the better, linebackers in the country, and Bocce, and then scores a touchdown. I mean, that was great for him and well-deserved.
Just the idea of, he was just talking about sort of the emotion of the moment and these, they're still young guys and they're giving everything to this. And he was saying, I got to score a touchdown at my dream school. It was unbelievable. What does that tell you about these guys? And I think sometimes maybe it's easy for us to, it's a business, there's a lot going on, but there is an emotional component of this that you can tell sometimes when it comes out of these kids, it really means a lot to them.
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, because I think sometimes we just think this thing goes on and on and on, and they're just, they're players and everything. But like you said, these guys are kids that grew up in, some grew up in Ohio, some grew up wherever, but they grew up and dreamed of being in environments like they were on Saturday night, and to actually fulfill a dream after all the hard work that's been put in. And there's a guy who, he keeps putting it in, but really hadn't made a big play like that. And so you just never know. It's faith without results at times. You just got to keep trusting it and trusting it and trusting it. And then all of a sudden when it happens, it's this is why you do it. And great to see stories like that, because in a day and age where everybody wants, instant gratification, to see a guy work like that and then get his due is great to see.
Right behind him, Bill.
Ryan, you've remarked a couple times about Justin's toughness, and I'm just curious maybe what you thought of him in those regards when he got here, how you've seen that develop, and as he tries to carve out this leadership position, how much does his willingness to go get tough yards help that?
I didn't have any expectations of him. I didn't know him really, other than just in the recruiting when he was coming up. But didn't spend a ton of time with him because he was committed to Penn State and then committed to Georgia. So we had a young man committed to us at the time. So it was a little bit, but didn't really get to go see him play or anything. So I didn't know. And then got around him a little bit, got to know him a little bit. But still, you don't know until you're in it, because we don't tackle the quarterback. And then to see the last couple games, the way he's taken a few shots, the way he's run the ball, and then come right back, that is some grittiness there, and that's very exciting.
You see his teammates taking to that? Is that, I know guys some are vocal, some aren't, but when you're trying to be a leader, something like that may be even more important than how much you might use your voice.
I just think when you're preaching toughness and your quarterback takes a shot right in the face, one that was, to me, was questionable, and then comes back and throws a fade in the corner of the end zone one week, and then lowers his shoulder and takes a shot in the thigh to score a touchdown late in the game, and on JK's touchdown run, or two of them, he's carrying out his fake and then he's running down the field to help block. He was almost in the end zone before JK on the long run, and then the other one he's leading to try to help block. That just goes to show you what this kid's made of, and I think a lot of guys on the team are taking notice of that.
And you guys lead the country in rushing yards, total rushing yards.